Beware! These questions range from some of the most deranged, sexual, vulgar, and disgusting things ever to some that are actually very, very insightful and interesting. So yeah, that is this video. I'm basically just doing a bunch of Q&As. I basically went to the people I knew in my high school and asked them, hey, you have unlimited range to ask whatever question you want for me. So I can use it in a YouTube video that I thought would be fun to film where I just answer questions. So, yeah. A lot of these have to do with drama that has happened at school, or not really drama, I should say. It's drama that's happened in my life that people found out about at school, which involves mostly accusations of me being promiscuous and sleeping with anything that even resembles a damn hole, which is absolutely not true. Accusation en dinero. But, yeah, you know. Oh, actually, before I start, I know I did the throat clearing, but first of all, this gameplay I have to give credit to my friend Emily because I haven't played Cold War in a long ass time, and I needed to get gameplay, so I called her, and this gameplay is the result of a night of just fucking around and doing whatever the hell. So yeah, you know, it's not the best, but it's nice, and I just wanted to give credit to her. You'll see her gamer tag pop up. I steal an assassination from her because I wasn't paying attention. Anywho, so first question, and the person who asked this wanted to be mentioned. Ryan asks, why won't you mamame? Mamame is the polite, it's not polite at all. It's just the Spanish way of saying, why won't you perform fellatio on me? Why won't you mamame? And the Spanish version of saying that, I'll answer this question if you use the proper, you know, grammar, Ryan. You have to say, ¿Por qué no me mamas? Honestly. I expected better from you. Number 2, opinions on Javier McGee. I don't know who that is, so I'm ambivalent. Number 3, favorite hobby that I have. Poetry, I'd say. Poetry is something that I love doing. And yeah, maybe I should post those on my channel. They usually cover some philosophical. A lot of them are very romantic. I love poetry. Yeah, that's something that I'm very fond of. I write a lot of them. They're very, very interesting. But I think they're quite beautiful. I'm very proud of myself in that regard, and I'm not ashamed of it. Solus liber qui non timet. But yeah. Anywho. Commit a crime so it would be never committed again. That would be the Tylenol murders. Basically, in like the 80s, some dude slipped like cyanide into Tylenol bottles because they didn't have safety seals yet. And because of that, safety seals were introduced after it killed a bunch of people. So I'd do something like that because in that case, it leads to, that's like a real world example. I do something along those lines because that's an example of like, if it wasn't for those murders, we would not have, or we might have the safety seals, but not in the manner that we do now. The care that is put into those things. So, it's like, this question is an interesting philosophical argument, because it's sort of like with peace and war, if you will. If we didn't have war, we wouldn't have a word for peace, because what peace is would then just be normal, since there wouldn't be any war, which means that we would not appreciate peace at all or see it as virtuous. So, it's contradictory. You can't have war without peace, and peace without war. Anywho, I got sidetracked. What crime will you be arrested for? This is an in-joke at my school. Basically, a lot of people argue that I do illegal shit. I look like I would do illegal shit. Or, as one of the girls in my English class points out, I love, and then doesn't say whatever the second part is. And whatever it is, it has some illegal connotations based off of the things I've been accused of in my class. So, yeah, that's fun. What crime would I be arrested for? Probably stealing something from a museum. I feel like that's something very me. So, and what I mean by that is, like, if, like, a rock fell off of a ruin or something, like, that's my property at that point. I'm sorry. God basically gave that shit to me, and I'm observing my legitimate rights. So, you know. There you go. There's the crime I'll be arrested for. Freakiest thing you do to get an A in a class. This question's too vague because you're not saying which class, you're not saying what kind of teacher, you're not saying what this class is for. Because is this an elective, which doesn't count for shit, like a short-term class, for instance. So, because if it's one of those, well, a freakiest thing I'd do to get an A in that class is like, I don't know, pull down my pants like an inch and have my underwear on. So I don't fucking know. Anyways, next question. This is an age difference question because there's going to be a lot of the age different ones. I'll explain this context in a bit when we get to a certain other very vulgar question. Divide by 2, add 7, or the other way around. So I can't. Here's the thing. This is an easy one. The person who asked this question does not understand. They understand math very well, probably better than me. This is a really good person at math, but they don't know my age. I happen to be 17, which means you can't divide my age by either 7 or 2. So I opt out of this question because no decibels. All right, favorite song. I listen to a bunch of music, so I don't think I have a favorite song. But depending on the context, if I want to get like pumped up or something, I don't know, something Himno de los Tercios, which is like a Spanish, that sort of thing. I love a lot of good Argentine patriotic music, by which I mean it's just fucking sports chants about anal sex or whatever the hell. But yeah, that sounds really weird in English to say, but in Argentina to sing about vulgarities is quite normal. So yeah. Lo corrieron atrás, lo metieron en palo en el culo, pobre señor, ay que dolor, no se lo pudo sacar. There you go, there's an example of that. Anyways, these next questions are, by the way, about Argentina, and this is from a person who is Glenn Quagmire in real life. So yeah, do they do incest in Argentina? No, I know you all give me flack for this, school, because I said I cuddle my family members. Well, guess what? There's not an English word for mimitos, so I just said cuddles instead, and then I got flack for it. So no, there is not incest in Argentina. I have not fucked my cousins. That is horse shit, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. I didn't even say anything about that. Y'all had the damn dirty mind to think about this shit. Age of consent in Argentina, that's 18. How normalized is statutory rape in Argentina? For the person who asked this question, like, I have my phone here. 911 is not that far away, so I'm just not going to answer that question, and expect a visit from the police in about 2 hours. Next question, when will you play Silk Song, which is Hollow Knight / my home address. My home address is Nowhere Avenue. And would I play Silk Song? Or when I'll play Silk Song. I'm not quite sure. You know, because I don't... When was the last time I spent money on a video game? I think it was Black Ops 6, and I played it for 2 hours, hated it, and never touched it again. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask for it for Christmas, I don't know. Anyways. Would you break your arm for the views? Nope! Favorite position. Favorite position is a very complicated discussion, because, you know, the position's very important. There's a lot of different penetration routes, there's a lot of ways you gotta... you know, go in for it. The psychological impact is there as well. What specific spots? There's weak points. There's points of interest. You know, that sort of thing. And in order to penetrate your opponent's lines, you know, you really need to understand the battlefield. You know, you need to scope out the area, get in close, make several trips and divisions. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say the phalanx for, you know, that sort of thing. That's how I'm getting out of that question. Favorite flavor of Tide Pod, laundry detergent. That's what a Tide Pod is. I'm not going to say that I have a favorite, and I'm going to say that you should stop eating laundry detergent. 16, yeah, that's what we're on. Are you going to study linguistics in college? Because you seem to know a lot about that. Am I going to study linguistics in college? No. Politics, law, war, international relationships, economy, that's philosophy, that's more of my thing. Linguistics is... people say I know a lot about it because I know 4 languages. That's not, or I know 4 languages. I'm decently fluent in 2, and I'm fully fluent in 2. So, well, I don't know. You judge my English, but I don't know. Am I gonna study linguistics? Probably not. Like, it's interesting, yeah, but it's not my main passion. So I talk a lot about it because it's the only concrete way that a lot of people understand cultural differences. So, and what I mean by that is, if you explain to, like the mimito, for instance, if you just explain that as like being a cultural difference, people are like, oh, so your culture, you fuck your cousins and that's normal in your household. And I'm like, no, that's not true at all. But linguistics allows me to then say, you guys just don't have a word for this. And that is something that in the context of the conversation, people are then like, oh, okay, that's a fact that I can latch onto because I don't trust shit other than research. So, yeah. Anyways, not that they even see the damn thing, they just assume I'm right, so... Anyways, 17, this is one of the most vulgar ones on here. Is it gay or masturbation to go back in time and fuck yourself? So there was an Adult Swim sketch about this on Robot Chicken, yeah? It was Robot Chicken. And it's between two clone troopers where they're in the middle of a battle and they just, like, discuss this while there's gunfire going around and then one of them dies. And they have this and it's one of the funniest, it's one of the stupidest but funniest sketches. They actually got the voice actors of the clone troopers from Star Wars to voice act that. I can't believe they actually read those lines. But, yeah, I'd consult that video, that little short, because they do a better job at explaining it. And they're in the heat of combat, you know, so you get the full perception of it. Alright, how old is my type? How old is my type? I don't think I have... My age or older is preferable. When I say my age, I don't mean, like, my birthday. Like, someone, like, who with the same birth year as me, I'd say. But it's not necessarily age that I'm looking for. The reason why I have a stereotype for being into older women, there's a lot of this has to do with an incident that happened a year ago with a 19-year-old woman. That was, first of all, a while ago. Second of all, I did not get groomed as much as a lot of people would like to say. Y'all are just jealous. And that's a shitty-ass argument, but anyways. What is my... is my type? Just based off of... I tend to see, like, type, if you will, like, beauty standards by association, so... I don't know if this is normal or weird, but for instance, like, when I see someone with certain attributes that reminds me of a certain quality that I've seen before in someone with those attributes, then those attributes are then attractive to me. So, it's weirdly a mix between age, attributes, and personality, but it really depends, because I can be, like, smitten with like an idea of a person one day and just like meet someone and be just completely in the other direction the next day. So it really does depend. How old is my type right now? I guess out of high school, but like not fully grown. So obviously, because contrary to popular belief, I do understand that it is not healthy for, you know, a 27-year-old to be with a 17-year-old. I'm aware of that. I know that's bad. Y'all accuse me of doing that type of shit, and if I say yes or I say no, I'm screwed if I do, screwed if I don't, so I'm just not going to say anything about that. Anyways, next question, 6'7" or 4'1". I don't know what 4'1" is, so I'm just going to go with 6'7", or I'll say it like the meme or whatever, 6'7", I don't know. Anyways, this is the next question. This has to do with l'affaire of moi a year ago. How was she? Is it salty? How did it taste? For the first question, glorious. For the second question, like the ocean. And for the third question, 21. What's the most common thing people have in common that they won't admit? This is a cultural thing, but it really depends where. Like, I guess misunderstand. Like, I don't know. I'm going off of the U.S. here as my main example because I've noticed very different things in other people from around the world. But in the U.S., people tend to have the same argument for, like, completely, like, for instance, someone on the far left and the far right will have the same, like, core philosophical values as the other person. The only way they'll disagree is the terms they use, because at the root of their argument, a lot of it is really the same shit. But other than that, and of course, I think the biggest smoking gun about that point is the fact that people won't admit it. So, because if I brought that up, they would just straight up deny it, which I think is the point of the question you're asking. So, yeah. That's a separate video. That would be an interesting video to do like a discussion on one day. But anyways, write me a 500-word essay on one of these questions in a 5-paragraph format. All right, I got you. Expect one in 4 to 5 business days. 23. Yeah, that's what we're on. How are you today, and what would you change about your day if you could? What would I change about my day if I could? I don't think I don't really want to change anything about my day. My day was fine. All right. 24. Can you pick me up and treat me like the little bitch I am? You're a kinky ass bastard. I'm not into this kind of kink. I don't like whipping or controlling or dominating or whatever the hell it may be. So you know what? Yeah. So at least I'm not the type of person who would control. Anywho, we can now skip that question. What's your body count? I don't want to extend this video past its runtime, so unfortunately I can't answer this question. Do you consider Andrew obese? Andrew's not obese. I used to be obese. I know what obese is like. Don't slander Andrew. As much as he is a traitor to the secrecy of a friendship that was fucking 10 years old, I still don't wish him any harm. So do not call him obese. Who's uglier? Who's ugly? My tongue. Who's uglier, Andrew or Hollis? Depends if you're talking ugly on the inside or outside. So that's too vague. I can't answer that question. Have you cracked? What do you think, based on this video? 29. We're almost at the end. Fuck 30 19-year-olds or fuck 19 30-year-olds. I'm going with the 19 30-year-olds there because it's less. And you're probably wondering, wait, why would I pick less? And that's because I don't. There's no passion. Like it's very, in my eye, I wrote a Latin poem about this. It's very sacred to like swear an oath of loyalty, of whether it be lustful or romantic loyalty to someone. So I would not liberally sleep with that many people, as it were. So especially not at the same time. Oh God. But yeah. The loyalty, the part that is exclusive, is one of the most important elements. The fact that you don't go to sleep thinking about, what's it called, a quirk, but wake up in the morning and you're like, where is she? Like that sort of thing. So, I don't know. I'll go with the 19 because it's less. Least favorite food, dairy-free cheese. The one time I had it, I almost puked. It was horrible. And then what do I love most about Nick? I love most when the rare occasion where the wild Nicholas shows up, speaks Spanish, and then shuts up. And when this rare phenomenon occurs, it is as if the sweet, honeyed hand of the goddess Venus comes and gives me a loving, loving little pat on the head. So, because Claudius audivi ex ore fellatricis. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Yeah. Bye. This is Vulgar ass Q&A.
EKA, mission area secured. You made JSOC proud.